Good morning, seventh graders. In this video, I'm going to be explaining what I'd like you to do in science class today. As always, please start by going to our module. Today is Thursday, April 1st, 2021. And take a look at our agenda and objective. So today you are going to be doing three main things. You're going to watch a video, complete some cell drawings, and then listen to a podcast. We are doing these activities so that you can recognize basic animal, plant, and yeast cells and begin to think about possible investigations with yeast to determine what went wrong with the bread that I made. For your materials, you'll need your notebook and canvas, but then I'm also going to ask that you take out paper to do your cell drawing and ideally colored pencils, crayons, or markers for color coding your drawings. And then you may or may not want to have paper to take notes during the podcast. So one thing that I'd like you to start the day with is sending a message to our fabulous guest teacher that is joining us today. You will then watch this video. And for the mini lesson, this is where I'm going to ask you to watch the cells video. This video compares and contrasts different kinds of cells, reviews the cell theory that we learned in our last section, our last notebook section, and explores cell parts called organelle structures and their functions. There is so much information in this video, and it's done by the Amoeba Sisters, which they do fabulous work. You do not need to know all of the details in this video. These videos are generally geared to align with standards in high school. As middle school learners, what you need to focus on is that cells are microscopic systems, and that systems have different parts that have to work together in order for the cell to survive. And then that cell, if it's a multicellular organism, is not only a system, but it's also a subsystem working within tissues and organ systems in a body. All right, so really the only thing that I need you to watch is from the beginning to minute 3:10. You do not need to go inside the cell exploring all of the different organelles. You do not need to learn about plant cells versus animal cells, or particularly the pathway of protein out of a cell. And if you want to, you're more than welcome to, because it is so fascinating. Just know that this is not information you are responsible for, but you will learn more about it as you go further in your education in science. So to get to the video, you have to click this little accordion tab to be able to view it. So again, here's the video, and I hope you enjoy. After you have watched the video, you are going to be doing some cell drawings. So I'd like at this point for you to take out that paper and colored pencils or markers that I talked about. And you're going to draw and label 3 cell types. When we draw and label things in science, it is important that you go slowly and that you are neat in the work that you do. My cat, sorry, is distracting me, so that it is legible and that you can use it as reference for later. They actually have people who are artists that go and become professional illustrators of science content, which would be really fun for any of you out there who love science and art. So if you click on this tab right here, it's going to open up, and here is the drawing that I would like you to put in on your paper that you then upload into your digital notebook on page 30. And then the final thing that I'm going to have you do is listen to an 11-minute podcast. Go for a walk, sit outside, do some squats, get your body moving so that you're not in my position with a really, really, really sore back. As you listen to this podcast, you're listening for possible problems with the bread that I made the first time and evidence that yeast is alive. After you have listened one time away from your computer, come back and take some notes. You can do these notes. Oh, it says at the bottom of 28. I was thinking actually at the bottom of 30, but really anywhere in those speaker notes in your digital notebook. Or you can do it on paper. Listen to it again. There's so much information. And then I want you to think, how does what you heard in that podcast relate to the bad bread? And what new questions do you now have that maybe will become investigation questions for us next week when we investigate how yeast functions? You are all done for the day when you have watched the video, drawn the cells and their parts, uploaded the cell to your notebook, and listened to the podcast. Please note that we will start class tomorrow, Friday, by you sharing at least one thing you learned and one new question that you have from the podcast. All right, so that is your day in science in a nutshell. I really look forward to hearing about your learning and seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day, scientists.